The invitation said, "Surprise 33rd birthday celebration for Emily." I should have known my mother doesn't throw surprise parties for people she actually likes. My name is Emily Chen, and I'm a senior logistics coordinator for a tech company in Seattle. I live in Capitol Hill, make $82,000 a year, and over the past 6 years, I've invested aggressively in my company's stock option program. My portfolio is worth $340,000. Nobody in my family knows this. Or so I thought. I arrived at my parents' house in Bellevue at 7:15 p.m. on Saturday. The driveway was packed with cars I didn't recognize. My stomach twisted. Mom had said it would be just family, maybe 10 people max. I counted 40 guests inside. Cousins I hadn't seen since high school. My parents' neighbors. People from their church. Even my sister Sienna's Pilates instructor was there, holding a glass of Prosecco like she belonged. Emily. Mom rushed over, her smile too bright, her hug too tight. "Happy birthday, sweetheart." Something was wrong. She only called me sweetheart when she wanted something. Sienna appeared next to her, wearing a white cocktail dress that probably cost more than my rent. She was 29, worked part-time as a social media consultant, and still had Dad paying her car insurance. "Happy birthday, sis," she said, kissing my cheek. Her perfume was overwhelming. Dad clinked a fork against his wine glass. The room fell silent. "Everyone, thank you for coming to celebrate Emily's birthday," he announced. "But we're also here for another reason. A very special announcement." My chest tightened. This wasn't a birthday party. This was a stage. Mom took my hand and pulled me toward the center of the living room. 40 pairs of eyes locked onto me. I was wearing jeans and a sweater. Everyone else looked like they were attending a gala. "As most of you know," Mom began, her voice carrying that practiced sweetness she used at charity events, "our youngest daughter Sienna is going through a difficult time." Sienna's eyes welled with tears on cue. "Impressive. She's worked so hard to build her business," Mom continued, "but she needs capital to really make it succeed. So tonight, we want to announce that Emily has generously agreed to liquidate her stock options to help her sister achieve her dreams." The room erupted in applause. My brain short-circuited. "What? We're so proud of you, Emily," Dad said, beaming. "This is what family does. We lift each other up." More applause. Someone shouted, "What a wonderful sister." I stood frozen, my mouth dry, my heart slamming against my ribs. Mom squeezed my hand. "Tell everyone how happy you are to help." I yanked my hand away. "I never agreed to this." The applause died instantly. "Emily," Mom hissed through her smile, "don't be dramatic." "I'm not being dramatic," I said, my voice shaking. "I never said I'd liquidate anything." Sienna's tears started flowing for real now. Please. You know I need this. I need $200,000 to scale my brand." $200,000? I almost choked. "Are you insane?" "It's not insane," she shouted. "You have the money. You work for a tech company, you're rich." "I'm not rich. I invested my own salary into stock options over 6 years. That's my retirement. My future." Dad's face hardened. "Your sister's future is now. She has an opportunity that won't wait. Then she should get a business loan like everyone else." "Banks won't give her one," Mom snapped. Then, realizing how that sounded, added quickly, "because she's young and they don't understand her vision. Or because her business is posting skincare routines on Instagram," I said. The room gasped. Actual gasps like I'd committed murder. Sienna burst into full sobs. "How can you be so cruel? I'm your sister. And you want me to give you $200,000 of my retirement fund." "It's the right thing to do," Mom said, her voice ice cold now. "Family helps family. That's how we were raised." "Really? Because I don't remember you helping me pay for law school applications. Or my car down payment. Or literally anything." Dad stepped forward, his face red. "You're being selfish, Emily. We raised you better than this." "I'm being selfish?" I laughed, sharp and bitter. "You ambushed me at my own birthday party with 40 witnesses to guilt me into funding Sienna's fantasy." "It's not a fantasy," Sienna screamed. Mom's composure cracked. "You will do this, Emily. You will help your sister. Because if you don't..." "What? You'll disown me?" "Go ahead." That's when Mom picked up her dinner plate. white porcelain, part of the fancy china set she only used for special occasions, and hurled it at the wall behind me. It exploded. Shards scattered across the hardwood floor. Someone screamed. The room went dead silent. Mom was shaking, her chest heaving. How dare you embarrass us like this? How dare you be so ungrateful after everything we've done for you? My hands were trembling. 40 people stared at me like I was the villain. I pulled my phone from my pocket. What are you doing? Dad demanded. I scrolled through my contacts, found the name I needed, and pressed call. It rang 3 times. Emily. The voice was familiar, calm. Everything okay? Marcus, I said, my voice surprisingly steady. I need you to come to my parents' house in Bellevue. Right now. Give me the address. I'll be there in an hour. I texted him the address and hung up. Who was that? Mom asked, her voice shrill. You'll find out. Fiona grabbed my arm. Please. Don't do this. Just give me the money and we can forget this whole thing. I shook her off. I'm not giving you anything. The next hour was excruciating. Some guests left, mumbling awkward goodbyes. Most stayed, clearly hoping for more drama. Someone brought out my birthday cake. Nobody sang. I sat in the corner, checking my phone every 2 minutes. Mom kept glaring at me from across the room. Dad paced by the window. Sienna cried on the couch while her friends patted her back and shot daggers at me with their eyes. At 8:47 p.m. the doorbell rang. Dad opened it. A man in his late 40s stood there, wearing a charcoal suit and carrying a leather portfolio. He had silver hair and the kind of calm, authoritative presence that made you trust him instantly. Good evening, he said. I'm Marcus Rivera, senior investment broker at Pacific Wealth Management. I'm here to see Emily Chen. Every head in the room swiveled toward me. I stood up. Hi, Marcus. Thanks for coming. He stepped inside, nodding politely to the crowd. I apologize for interrupting the celebration. This won't take long. Mom's face had gone pale. Dad looked like he'd swallowed glass. Marcus opened his portfolio and pulled out several documents. Miss Chen contacted me because there seems to be some confusion about her investment portfolio. There's no confusion, Dad said quickly. She's not going to do anything, Marcus interrupted smoothly. Because her stock options and investment accounts are solely in her name, managed exclusively by her, and cannot be liquidated without her explicit written authorization. He held up a document. This is the account agreement for Emily's stock option portfolio with her employer, opened in 2018. Current vested value, $340,000. Someone in the crowd whispered, $340,000? Sienna's mouth fell open. Marcus continued. Additionally, Emily has a diversified investment portfolio including index funds, bonds, and a Roth IRA, totaling another $95,000. Combined assets, $435,000. The room was so quiet I could hear the clock ticking in the kitchen. Now, Marcus said, his voice taking on a harder edge, I received an interesting phone call this afternoon. Someone claiming to be Emily Chen called our office requesting an emergency liquidation of $200,000 from her stock options, to be wired to a business account under the name Sienna Chen Wellness LLC. Gasps. Real ones this time. Marcus looked directly at Mom. The call came from this phone number. He showed his screen. My parents' landline. Mom's face went from pale to gray. I was trying to help facilitate. You were committing wire fraud, Marcus said calmly. Impersonating an account holder to access their funds is a federal crime punishable by up to 30 years in prison. Dad grabbed the back of a chair. Now wait a minute. I also received a follow-up email, Marcus continued, pulling out another page, from an email address that had been created to mimic Emily's. The real address is e.chen2023@gmail. The fake one was echen2023@gmail, with a 0 instead of the letter O. Very clever. He looked at Sienna. The email originated from your IP address. I have the metadata. Sienna's face crumpled. I didn't. I was just. Mom said it would work. Sienna. Mom shrieked. The room exploded. People started talking over each other. Someone's wine glass shattered. Aunt Paula yelled, Carol, what the hell were you thinking? Marcus raised his hand. The room quieted. Miss Chen, he said, turning to me. Do you want to press charges? 40 people held their breath. I looked at my mother, whose makeup was running down her face. At my father, who couldn't meet my eyes. At Sienna, sobbing into her hands. No, I said quietly. But I want a restraining order on my accounts. Marcus nodded. Already done. I've flagged all your accounts for fraud attempts. Any contact from anyone other than you will trigger an immediate investigation and police notification. He handed me a folder. These are copies of everything. The fraudulent call recording, the fake email, the metadata. If they try anything else, you'll have evidence. Thank you, Marcus. He shook my hand, gave a curt nod to the room and left. Nobody moved for a full 10 seconds. Then I picked up my purse and walked toward the door. Emily, wait, Dad started. Don't, I said, not turning around. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't show up at my apartment. I'm done. You can't just abandon your family. Mom wailed. I stopped at the threshold and looked back. 40 people, most of them strangers, all of them witnesses to my parents trying to steal from me. You abandoned me the second you tried to steal $200,000 from my retirement fund, I said. Sienna, good luck with your business. You're going to need it because you're not getting $1 from me. Sienna screamed something, but I was already out the door. I sat in my car for 5 minutes, hands shaking on the steering wheel. Then my phone buzzed. Marcus, account secured. Called authorities to file report. You're protected. Me, thank you. Really? Another text came through. My cousin Derek. That was incredible. Your parents are insane. Call me if you need anything. Then Aunt Paula. Your mother is out of her mind. I'm so sorry. You did the right thing. 6 more texts came in within minutes. Not everyone had been on their side. I drove back to Capitol Hill, opened a bottle of wine, and sat on my balcony overlooking the city lights. My phone rang at 11 p.m. Mom's number. I blocked it. Then Dad's. Blocked. Then Sienna's. Blocked. At midnight, I checked my investment account. $435,000. Every penny still there. I slept better that night than I had in years. And when I woke up on my actual birthday the next morning, alone in my apartment with my retirement fund intact, I felt something I hadn't felt around my family in a long time. Peace.